Hello, everybody. This is the Unite 412 podcast. Yes, we are back for another episode. We have some young people here ready to talk about topics of life and faith. And I'm going to introduce the topic for this episode in just a moment. But what I thought we'd do first, as always, is introduce ourselves, just so the listeners know who you are, but also ask you a little bit of an icebreaker question just to get to know you. So we are going to ask you today, what is your favourite song or band? Okay, so all to do with music, song or band. Mystery person number one, answer that question, favourite song or band.
Hello, my name's Josh, and my favourite song is Careless Whispers by George Michael.
Absolute classic. Love it.
My name is Daniel, and my favourite song is Hey Soul Sister by Train.
I actually love that song.
I love that song. That's an oldie, but I love it.
My name is Hannah, and my favourite song is I Won't Give Up by Jason Mraz. Bit sad, but it's a good song.
I love that. That's cool.
Hi, I'm Poppy, and my favourite song is Fluorescent Adolescent by Arctic Monkeys.
Love it.
Hi, my name is Ella, and my favourite song is House of the Lord by Hillsong RM3.
Love it, love it. I actually love that song. That is actually a belter of a song.
You went for the Christian
Yeah, that's it. Jesus points for Ella.
Hi, my name's Damien, and my favourite song is Slim Shady by Eminem.
Cool. Very different vibe to Hillsong, that one. Go on, Oscar.
I'm Oscar, and sorry, but I don't have a favourite song.
Boring.
So, yeah, sorry about that one.
Oh, I like all the flavours of ice cream. Well, I like everything.
Yeah.
Are you one of them? You like
I'm
all
one
the
of them.
music?
Yeah, I like all the music.
Okay, now the reason I asked you your favourite songs, there was a reason for it, is because some of the songs that you guys said, not all of them, were love songs. I know, love.
What?
And that's what we're going to be speaking about this evening. We're going to be speaking all about relationships, singleness, dating, all that kind of stuff. We're going to ask you guys some questions just to see what you guys think about it, kind of how to date well, how to have godly relationships and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to ask you some questions and you guys can share your opinions. And listeners at home, we want you guys to join the conversation. So message us in your opinions and your answers as well. It'll be great to hear what you guys think. But let's kick off the discussion straight away with singleness, because this is often something that is not spoken about too often, and there's often a bit of a kind of stigma about being single. So, can you be single and okay? That is the question. Can you be single and okay? Let's go. Let's open the discussion.
Yeah, you can be single and okay, because I'm single and I'm okay.
I love all the flavours of ice cream. Okay.
Expand on it. Dating someone doesn't make you whole. You should already be whole before you're dating someone, so you should be okay without them.
Okay, I like that. That's cool. Anybody else? Can you be single and okay? Go for it.
Yeah,
Quentin.
everyone thinks, oh no, I've got to get in a relationship now. But that is not the case. It's definitely okay to be single because you can work on yourself and focus, do what's right.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
I completely agree, because I feel like, you should just work on yourself, because at the end of the day, that if you don't love yourself, then you can't love other people.
Okay, they're all great answers. I love that. That's really, really helpful. Okay, the next question then is, why do you think there is so much pressure to be in a relationship? Or do you think there's pressure, first of all? Let's open that up.
Yeah, I think there is, because especially at schools, it's very stereotypical that you're in a relationship, I think. So I think there's a lot of peer pressure around the fact that if you're single, then you're basically lonely, which you're not, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with Hannah on that one. Only because many of us or our friends are or will be in relationships, and you might feel like left out because you don't have anyone. But that's not the case, because there are many people that you have, like your friends and family. So, yeah.
Yeah, Hannah mentioned something interesting. Hannah mentioned about kind of if you're single, sometimes you feel lonely, and that's an interesting point. How do we kind of combat that? How do we kind of like, as Christians, or even as non-Christians, how do we combat that feeling of kind of like, if we're single, feeling lonely? How do we get past that?
Have a good relationship with your friends and God, and have people that you can talk to.
Okay, so going off the back of relationships then, obviously about the pressure of relationships, do you think that teenagers can date well?
Yeah, but not all of them do, because of like the peer pressure in school. A lot of people, I'd say like our age and younger, really. Once it gets older than us, it's not really the case. But they feel like they need to be dating someone to maybe like seem cool or whatever. But they're forcing themselves into a relationship, so it's not a very good one, and it usually ends badly.
I think teenagers can date well, but I think you have to both be in the right position to date well, because I think like that you need God in your relationship, and if one of you doesn't have God, say, then I don't see how you can make it work. So I think it's quite hard to be in that situation, but I think it is possible.
Yeah, I do agree that it is possible. It's definitely lots of people are able to date as a teenager well, but they need to be able to respect themselves and respect the other person.
Do you think that's what Hannah means by being in the right position? What do you think about kind of what does being in the right position actually mean? What does that look like? Kind of both being in the right position. Go for it.
I feel like to be in the right position, you need to have like a good mindset about things and like not think that you have to have a relationship. You have to think that you only have one because you're ready to have one, not just because you want one.
What about dating then? So as Christians, what are your opinions on? Obviously, in the Bible, it speaks about dating non-Christian. Don't date non-Christians. Why do you think that's important? Why do you think that's kind of like something that we need to kind of stick with, or do you think it's something we need to stick with? What are your thoughts?
I just think that if someone doesn't respect your faith, then I don't think it's someone you should be with, because everyone should just be respectful of each other.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. I like that a lot. Anything else?
I guess when you get older and you start having a family with the said person, then I guess that the children will wonder where you're going every Sunday morning. And they'll be like, where's so and so going every Sunday morning? And they'll be like, because one of you doesn't have God in your life. They'll be like, oh, he's just going somewhere and won't think any of it, and you won't have that balance between do you have God in your relationship and you don't have God in your relationship.
Yeah, so it kind of complicates things. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Go on, Ella.
If you're dating someone that's non-Christian, they could also like bring you away from God. So it's best to have someone who believes the same things that you do.
Yeah, like expanding on that, they could, for example, like you could start skipping church or whatever and seeing them and things like that, and they could draw you away from God.
Okay, let's talk about social media. I know we spoke about social media in one of the other episodes of the podcast, but social media does have a big part to play in relationships, especially these days. So how does social media affect your view on singleness or relationships? Do you think it has an impact? Do you think it kind of affects it, or do you think it doesn't have any impact at all? What's the vibe?
I just think that if you go on, like, say, Instagram or Snapchat or something, and you just see pictures of, like, your friends with their boyfriend or their girlfriend or something, and you just think, like, oh, like, maybe, like, I actually have that. Like, why don't I have that? Like, am I not worth it or something? But I just think you just need to know that you're worth it. Like, just because somebody else has something just doesn't mean it's perfect. Just because a picture that you see on social media, like, it's all different behind the camera.
Yeah, I also think with, I guess, celeb couples, and how they'll have like the perfect relationship when really behind everything they don't. And you don't see that, do you? Like whatever's hidden behind social media is private.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's hard, right? Because I think a lot of the time we look at social media and we learn kind of a lot of things about relationships and all that kind of stuff from social media. So we kind of think, like, we look at people when they seem really happy and all that kind of stuff, and we take that as that everything's perfect, like you said. But the reality is that I guess social media isn't always what it is, right? So often, like, you could see a couple taking a picture together, but they could have had an argument 10 minutes before the picture was taken, right? So it's not, like, actually real. So it's, like, difficult to kind of, like, figure out what's real and what's not, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in terms of Christians then, what can we do differently in kind of dating and relationships and even social media to an extent? As Christians, how can we kind of be godly? How can we be true to ourselves and our faith kind of on social media, but also in our dating and relationships? What does that look like for young people like you guys?
Well, being godly, like in your relationship, you have to always put God first. But this can actually help because you can listen to what God's trying to tell you in this relationship and follow His advice, so He could help you out in it.
Okay, it's cool. Anyone else?
I'd also say like take time for prayer, with I guess your said partner, because that will make your relationship stronger, with God in it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, one last thing for the podcast. I thought it'd be great for the listeners at home, just for you guys to give some advice for people that are, single, dating, trying to navigate all that stuff, but also faith as well, trying to figure it all out. What is some great kind of advice that you could maybe give them in those times or seasons of life? Go. Oh, we've got a sound guy, Freddie, sharing the answer to this. This is amazing. He's come off the sound booth and he's straight in there with an answer. I love this. Go for it, Freddie.
Okay, so what I'd say is just take it nice and slow and maybe start being friends, because instead of going all in, maybe just start by just getting to know the person as a friend, and then if you feel like it, move on to a higher stage.
Love that. That's awesome advice. Cool. Keep it coming. Let's go.
Just don't rush, because you don't need someone else to make you feel whole, because you should feel good about yourself anyway.
Love that. That is awesome advice. That is great. Keep it going.
I guess I know this might not be for everyone, but I say be careful.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
what's on the outside might not be what's on the inside.
Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Love it.
Yeah, I just say
Dan was blown away by that advice. I love it.
Yeah.
Did you need that bit?
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
Dan's taking notes. Here we go. Right, Hannah, keep it going. Let's go.
I think it's just important to know your worth and know where you stand, because there's nothing worse than being treated like a doormat and being walked all over when it's literally the last thing you want. And
Yeah, for sure.
so I think it's important to figure that out before you're in the stage where you can't then go back to knowing your worth.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's awesome advice. I love that. I think my advice would be to keep God at the center of your relationship. Keep praying, keep him at the middle, because I believe that he will show you the way to go. He'll tell you what to do, and he'll help you make wise decisions. So that's my advice. Guys, thank you for speaking on the podcast. Thank you for sharing what you guys think and being honest. Guys, listening at home, we want you to share your opinions and your thoughts as well. We want to hear what you have to say about relationships, maybe answer some of the questions that we've given you. But it would be great if you want to follow us on Instagram or Facebook. We're at TCC_Unite Youth on Instagram, and on Facebook, we're at Unite Youth. Give us a follow, give us a like, and we will see you on the next episode. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.